You are watching War Tactics and History. April 1982. Far beyond the battlefields of Europe and thousands of miles from Britain, a new war had begun in the cold waters of South Atlantic. The Falkland Islands had been seized by Argentine forces, and Britain faced an enormous challenge. How do you defend territory over 8,000 miles from home? For the British government, there was only one answer: fight back. Yet Britain's Naval Task Force sailing south faced a deadly threat. Argentine aircraft operating from Port Stanley Airfield could launch devastating attacks against British warships. If the runway remained operational, British sailors would face unimaginable danger in the days ahead. There was a problem. No modern British aircraft possessed both the range and capability to strike the airfield from British-controlled territory. The nearest available base was Ascension Island, more than 3,500 miles away. The mission seemed impossible. The answer lay in an aging giant of the Cold War, the Avro Vulcan bomber, designed to deliver nuclear weapons deep inside Soviet territory. The Vulcan was approaching retirement. It had not performed conventional precision bombing mission or air-to-air refueling operation for years. Many believed its operational days were over. What followed was one of the most daring and complex missions in military aviation history. Engineers worked around clock to restore forgotten systems. Pilots relearned dangerous refueling procedures. 11 Handley Page Victor tanker aircraft would be required to send just one Vulcan bomber to its target. This would become Operation Black Buck 1, the longest bombing raid in history at that time, a mission that would test the limits of human endurance, engineering, and courage. And before the night was over, one aircraft and its crew would change the course of the Falkland Wars. Shortly after midnight on the 30th of April 1982, two Vulcan bombers and 11 Victor tankers thundered down the runway at Ascension Island. One Vulcan would attack Port Stanley Airfield. The second would act as a reserve. But almost immediately disaster struck. The primary Vulcan suffered a cockpit pressurization failure and was forced to return to base. Suddenly, Vulcan XM607 became Britain's only hope. The challenges were just beginning. The mission depended upon a highly complex chain of aerial refueling operation. Tankers would refuel one another before passing fuel to the Vulcan. There was almost no margin for error. A single equipment failure or fuel miscalculation could doom the entire operation. Soon, more problems emerged. Tankers began consuming far more fuel than expected. One aircraft suffered a refueling equipment failure and returned home. Then, thousands of miles south of Ascension Island, the formation flew directly into a violent electrical storm. Powerful turbulence hurled refueling hoses through the air, snapping one aircraft's refueling probe completely off. Despite the chaos, the crews improvised brilliantly and pressed onward. When Vulcan XM607 received its final refueling, it was still nearly 7,000 pounds short of the planned fuel requirement. Martin Withers, commander of Vulcan, faced an impossible choice: abort the mission or continue into enemy airspace with dangerously low fuel reserves. His answer was simple: we are off. With only 300 miles remaining, the Vulcan descended towards the Falkland Islands. Its onboard radar technology dated back to the Second World War, and its becoming computer still relied upon pulleys and mechanical systems. Yet this aging bomber now carried Britain's hopes. As Port Stanley peered ahead, Argentine radar stations detected the incoming aircraft. Surface-to-air missiles and anti-aircraft guns prepared to engage. At 2 minutes from the target, the bomb bay doors opened and warning alarms filled the cockpit. Enemy fire-controlled radars attempted to lock onto the Vulcan. There was no turning back. 21 1,000-pound bombs fell towards the runway below. The moment the last bomb was released, Martin Withers threw the massive bomber into violent invasive turn as anti-aircraft fire lit up the night sky. Operation Blackbuck had succeeded. Only one of the 21 bombs struck the runway directly, but it was enough. The crater prevented Argentine fast jets from operating effectively from Port Stanley and forced military planners to reconsider their air operations. Fearing further Vulcan attack, Argentina also redeployed fighter aircraft to defend the mainland, reducing the threat facing the British task force. Against extraordinary odds, an aircraft designed for nuclear war had completed the longest bombing mission ever flown at that time. More than 9,000 miles had been covered through courage, determination, and remarkable teamwork. Operation Blackbuck one proved that sometimes the strategic impact of a mission cannot be measured merely by damage it causes, but the message it sends. And that one good South Atlantic night in 1982, one aging Vulcan bomber reminded the world that distance alone is never enough to stop determination. Thank you for watching War History